Now the footage apparently begins in the countryside where a number of poachers are seemingly closing in on a location. Craven pops up out of nowhere, wielding his classic machete, and he'll cut them up in what's meant to be an extremely gory scene. The description for the footage just says, lots of blood, and this will instantly give us the idea that this movie is here to earn its R rating. Anyway, at this point we hear Russell Crowe as his father giving narration towards the general theme of the film. He basically gives lines about what he is and what he'll become, and he closes it out by saying that both he and his son are predators. Now, though the Rhino is portrayed as the villain in the trailer, it is possible that Crowe's character might end up becoming the big bad who's potentially putting his son through the paces in order to try and craft him into the world's greatest hunter. Potentially he's in cahoots with the Rhino or something like that, but we'll obviously see in the movie. Anyway, from here we cut to a snowy action scene before then moving to his city. This gives the idea that this is gonna be a globe-trotting adventure, with Craven training his skills in both Arctic and urban jungles. We're told throughout it that he's just another man who's looking for a trophy, and again, this suggests he hasn't made his name yet, and instead he's just out there on the hunt trying to build his name. The trailer's meant to be quite short, and we have a couple more shots, with one including Craven sitting in an office chair before he spears someone who walks into the room. He also bites a guy's nose off during this, and lastly, someone gets stuck in a medieval trap, which brutally kills them. I'm a bit confused over when this actually happens in the trailer, as some reports have said that this is what opens it with the poachers, and that Craven actually spits the nose out directly at the camera. Either way, it's meant to be very over the top, and Sony are pushing hard to get that R rating for the film. Now, I wasn't able to place when this part happens in the trailer, but we're also meant to see his classic comic accurate vest. Craven pulls it out of a chest at one point, so potentially this belonged to his father, or maybe something that pops up in a post-credit scene. You know, Sony loves showing their post-credit scenes in the trailer because they just can't help themselves. But yeah, that's meant to be what happens in the movie. Now apparently we end with a tease of the Rhino and get a couple of action scenes with us also seeing what's happening with the character power-wise. When he appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the villain of course had the iconic robot armor. However, they're taking a different approach for this film, and instead he'll be achieving his abilities through his serum. We're meant to see Craven encounter the character, and he then injects himself with a serum. From here we get a shot of his arm morphing into a giant rhino fist, and this is before the rest of his body transforms. At this point he'll become a giant rhino monster, and it'll be up to Craven to take him down. Now him basically being Rhino Man also sets up the fact that he might one day hunt Spider-Man. Sort of animal-themed villains, and with Spider-Man having a lot of them, they could even have him going toe-to-toe with other animal-inspired characters. You've got Scorpion, Black Cat, Dr. Octopus, the Vulture, and so on. So if things go well, you might even get other villains like that for the character to face off against. Now the trailer ends with the tagline, "Nothing survives the hunt," and this is very much giving us the idea that Craven will somewhat lose himself in carrying out these deeds.